Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Christina Davis with the Tennessee Beef Industry Council. I am the Director of Industry and Retail Relations. So I get the pleasure of doing things like this and updating producers on the activities of the beef checkoff in the state. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For this video, we are first going to talk about our board meeting. So first, I do want to let you know that we did have a board meeting earlier this month. This is our first board meeting of the fiscal year. Our fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th each year. So we just kind of kicked off a new program year. So in the meeting, we welcomed a few new directors to our board. So we welcomed Zane Vanover of Kingsport, Tennessee, joined us representing the Tennessee Farm Bureau. And then Jay Yergin of Greenfield, Tennessee, he joined the board representing the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association. And then we also had Jennifer Houston. I apologize, I did not forward the slides. I'm not sure why it's not progressing. Here we go. Apologize about that. We had Jennifer Houston of Sweetwater, Tennessee, joining us with the Tennessee Livestock Markets Association. So during each board meeting, we discuss details of new business that comes up, as well as each staff member gives an update on programs and activities that have happened within that quarter and things that are coming up. So in this specific board meeting, we did have some new business to discuss. The Tennessee Beef Promotion Board meeting discussed the details of the Tennessee Beef Promotion Research Grant Policy. The board voted to not cover any indirect costs under the Tennessee Beef Promotion Board research grants to ensure that all funds are used for the direct cost of the research that is funded. And that is a research grant that is available under the Tennessee Beef Promotion Board portion. So just that state 50 cents that stays within the state. That is a policy that's specific to that program. This year's officer team, just going back to our board members, this year's officer team is Russ Usselton, who's our chairman. Roger Riddell is our vice chairman. Patterson Freeman is our treasurer. Stephanie Barnett is our secretary. And Gary Daniel sits as our past chair. Just looking real quickly, I did want to briefly show you all the members of our board. So these are the members that meet quarterly to direct the funds of the Beef Checkoff program here in Tennessee. So for the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association, we have Steve Anderson, Roger Riddell, and Jay Yergin. Representing the Tennessee Livestock Markets Association, we have Richard Brown, Stephanie Barnett, and Jennifer Houston. Representing the Tennessee Cattle Improvement Association is Will Mayfield and Larry Cunningham. And then we also have a seat for the American Dairy Association of Tennessee. It's filled by Paul Moss. The Tennessee Farm Bureau Federation has Russ Usselton, who is our current chair, Zane Vanover, and Patterson Freeman. And then we also have industry advisors that sit on our board. Wendy Sneed for the Tennessee Department of Agriculture, and Dr. Neil Schrick for the UT Extension or UT Institute for Agriculture sit in advisory positions as well. And we have ex officio members who also sit in. Gary Daniel as our past chair, Don Terry, he is the Region 2 Federation of State Beef Council's vice president. Christina McKee, she is a Cattlemen's Beef Board representative. And then Celeste Blackburn, who's also a Cattlemen's Beef Board representative, sit on our board as well. Just wanted to quickly tell you that the new Beef Industry Long Range Plan has been released for 2021 to 2025. So this plan's been referenced in some previous meetings, so I won't go into too much detail. But the Beef Checkoff program strives to make sure that the work that we're doing aligns with the Beef Industry Long Range Plan where we can, so that we're all working together for a common goal within the industry. You can see some of the goals and strategies are more legislative focused, and as the beef checkoff, we are not permitted to do work in those areas. So checkoff dollars cannot be used for any lobbying, or legislative works. So we just use this long range plan as a guide as we're developing our programs and our focuses so that we can make sure that the industry is working together towards one goal and not going in different directions. You can see the complete long range plan, more details about it at the website on the screen, the beeflongrangeplan.com. You can see the complete plan along with all of their strategies and objectives. And we'll roll right into some current program updates. So at each quarterly board meeting, updates are presented in every program area. So I'm excited to show you some of these program updates that were presented in the last board meeting. So Jana Sullivan, who works in youth education, and Carmen, who is our registered dietitian, both presented at the CTE conference, sharing the resources that we have available for CTE educators. So hitting those agriculture educators, culinary teachers, those hands-on teachers. This resulted in a lot of requests for material, both in production practices or both pertaining to production practices, cooking, and nutrition. So Jana has mailed out classroom materials to both high school ag and culinary teachers. So if you know someone that could use any of these materials also, or if you could use any for yourself, or you're interested to see what we have available or what we've sent out, please refer to Jana Sullivan. Her email is on the screen there, jsullivan@tnbeef.org. And for any nutrition information specifically, you can contact Carmen Meyer. Her email is also there at kmeyer@tnbeef.org. Ag Literacy Week is coming up November 15th through the 21st, and we always do a big push to get folks reading beef books in classroom. So this may look a little different this year, but you can record yourself reading a book or even read to a group of students virtually. If you know someone who is interested or you might be interested, please contact Jana Sullivan at her email on the screen, and we can provide you with some materials, some books, and maybe some pointers about how we can help you make this happen this year with the interesting environment that we're in. The next thing is our All-Star Beef Backer Contest, which happens each year to get 4-H groups involved in promoting beef during July Beef Month. So this year's winner is Tipton County 4-H. So the young lady that you see on the screen there, I believe her name, if I say it correctly, is Bailey Walton. So Tipton County held a virtual event during July, which included several different elements. So Bailey was able to establish a partnership with local library and was able to read beef cattle books as part of their summer reading program. A video was also created by the club welcoming everyone to Beef Month, which received hundreds of views on Facebook. One of the most interesting elements about the whole program they put together was a photography contest. So the contest required participants to take a picture pertaining to the beef industry. Tipton County also had throughout the campaign dates, they had numerous social posts that engaged consumers, like how do you like your steak graphic. They talked about cattle beef products. They used cut charts and myth versus truth graphics and recipe sharing as well, just to really interact with consumers during the month of July and promote beef for July Beef Month. So that county 4-H group will be awarded $500 for their first prize. So this is always an exciting contest that we have during the summer to get our youth involved, and they never disappoint us. The Discovery Park of America has a new exhibit opening December 5th called Agriculture Innovating for Our Survival. And we have partnered with them to provide accurate information about beef production and educational materials, both for the exhibit and for school groups that visit the exhibit. So this video that I'm about to show you is just one of the aspects that we've been able to contribute. So this video will play in the main museum, and it can be viewed even if attendees don't make it back to the agriculture exhibit itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this short video is part of the materials that we were able to contribute.
This is the American dream for us. You know, for me, I'm living the American dream right now.
Much has changed since the days of cowboys, cattle drives, and the Old West.
There's a lot of difference between our cow-calf operation today versus 20 years ago.
You've probably heard that beef is a high-quality protein with 10 essential nutrients our bodies crave, but it represents much more than that. Today, American farmers and ranchers rely on the latest technology, like drones, apps, and computers, to bring beef from the pasture to your plate.
We use the drone for gathering cattle, and we also use it to check water troughs and water systems to make sure everything's functioning correctly. And every time there's new technology, we try to take advantage of it, not only from the business side, but for the environmental side and conservation.
There are thousands of family farms and ranches across the U.S., but one thing remains the same: the promise to raise beef in a safe, caring, and lasting way.
We have a theory here that a calf born here on this ranch should never have a bad day of his life.
We have a large group of specialized positions dedicated to animal well-being, ensuring that we're doing right by the animals entrusted to us.
If we don't take care of our cattle, they're not going to take care of us, so they won't be successful.
Taking care of our planet and its natural resources are crucial. But did you know that ranching families have led conservation efforts for generations?
I've always summed it up with a simple phrase: do no harm. Our cattle all coexist with most anything you can find here.
Today, a lasting, reliable food supply balances production with environmental, social, and financial impacts. But raising beef responsibly is the top priority.
Ranchers and farmers are getting smarter as far as welfare for our cattle and safety for crops and the land, and they have to be more efficient.
Every day, beef is brought to our tables in the safest, most sustainable way. But the work is never complete. U.S. farmers and ranchers give their animals the best possible care and continue to provide a nutritious food source for families around the world.
Being a rancher means family tradition.
Being a rancher means being a steward of land and a steward of the cattle.
Being a rancher means I get to do every day what other people love to do on the weekends.
I think it's just this inner passion. We just want to take care of these cows and this land and leave it in better shape for our children to continue on what we do now, right?
Visit tnbeef.org for more information and resources on beef's nutrition and how cattle are responsibly raised.
All right, so that is the video, like I said before, that will play at Discovery Park of America in their main museum. That way, all of their patrons will be able to see the video, even if they don't actually go back and take part in the agriculture exhibit. It'll be there for them to see accurate information about the beef industry and all the ways that we're taking care of not only our cattle but the land, and we have been for years and years. So that's we're excited for that exhibit to open in December, and we can't wait to see the public, or let the public see it. Moving on, we'll talk about some influencer videos. So in the midst of all the COVID lockdowns and all the uncertainty, Jana and Carmen, as well as our summer intern Caroline, they spent 3 days on set in Nashville to shoot influencer videos that will run throughout 2021 fiscal year, with the first one rolling out earlier this month. So that lady right there in the button-up blue shirt with the long brown hair, that was the first video to roll out. And these videos promoting beef include chefs, so there are professional chefs in that mix, fitness trainers, and even an average mom home cook. So keep an eye out for those videos on our social platforms. They were professionally done, so we had a professional videographer come shoot the videos for 3 days. Everything has been edited, and they are really great. I can't wait for everyone to see them. So you can catch the first one that has already came out. It's on our YouTube video, or it's on our YouTube channel, apologize. It's on our Tennessee Beef Council YouTube page. It's also on our Facebook, and I believe it may be on our Instagram as well. So check that out and be on the lookout for the rest of them that will be coming out later in the year. So because we have a registered dietitian on staff, she's able to do a lot of work with nutrition and health professionals. Excuse me. So she is currently planning a virtual farm tour for the new class of Vanderbilt dietetic interns. Normally, she plans annual farm tours with this new group of students each year, but with COVID restrictions this year, it will look just a little bit different, as does just about everything right now. So you can see the images on the screen to your right there. Those pictures are images of a couple snapshots from previous farm tours. Giving these students the opportunity to learn about beef production and nutrition so that they feel confident in recommending beef as a part of their future clients' eating pattern. And so we really want to get them on farm, get them in a place where they can ask questions of a producer, they can see cattle up close, and they can see how cattle are raised. And then they also, Carmen does a really follow up to that and gives them some media training with some talking points and how to talk to clients about beef and the nutritional value of having it in your balanced diet. Eating in the Early Years virtual event that was hosted by National Cattlemen's Beef Association, contractor to the Beef Checkoff. They brought together researchers and health professionals to talk about beef in a child's diet. Carmen attended this event virtually. So for the first time, the Dietary Guidelines for Americans will offer authoritative guidance for infants and toddlers from birth to 24 months of age. So this 4-day event included presentations by leading child nutrition and feeding experts. So it was all about how we can most effectively feed, most efficiently feed a growing child from infancy to 2 years old, essentially. So the event was also approved for continuing professional education credits for registered dietitians and dietetic technicians. So not only are we getting the beef message out in an efficient way to those health professionals and those dietitians that are recommending foods to consumers, but we're also hitting those people who need training. They need that continuing education within their career. And so we're making sure that we're keeping beef not only in the new dietitians curriculum or what new dietitians are seeing, but we're also continuing to get that to practicing dietitians as well. That last bullet point there, Carmen was able to write an article as a registered dietitian about the dietary guidelines for a Tennessee producer who requested the information for a project that he was working on in his community. The reason why I really wanted to talk about this for a second is because if you are involved in things in the community or you need materials, not necessarily that you would need an article written for you, but if you needed materials or you were trying to supply the library with a certain information or supply a school with some certain information, we would be happy to help you with those things. So please contact us at our office, email any of us. If you don't have our contact information, you can Google it on tnbeef.org. It's there on our website. So please reach out to us, and we would love to share those things with you and help you in whatever projects that you might be working on in your community. So moving forward, and my slides aren't progressing. There we go. So Team Beef Tennessee members. So Team Beef is a running team. It's a team of runners that advocate for beef as a food for strength. And so they are being featured in Nashville Fit Magazine. We've already had 2 runners featured. This is the first one, Seth, that you can see on the screen there. And there are 2 others that have been featured as well in the same kind of advertorial kind of piece that you see on the screen, the spotlight, if you will, spotlight ad. on the screen. So we're really excited to have them featured in that fitness magazine as an advocate for beef as a food for strength. I think it's so important to have athletes advocating for this great protein that we are working with. Carmen is very busy, as you can tell. Carmen launched the virtual cooking club. So Carmen she's our cooker, our dietitian, and she has had great success. It's kind of like a book club, but with cooking. So participants join each month to cook up a great beef recipe together via Zoom. So the first meetup happened earlier this month, and many of the participants cooked up sirloin steak for the recipe for the first time. A lot of them said that they had never used that cut before, and so that was awesome to introduce new cuts to consumers. You can find more information about future dates on our social media page or on our website at tnbeef.org. I'm sure Carmen would love to have more people join, or if you know someone who would be interested in doing something like that, please refer them to there. There will be a holiday cooking demonstration in November with the UT Family and Consumer Science agents, and UT has opened this event up to the public as well. So we'll be doing a holiday cooking event with them, kind of just doing a demo / training with them. Let's see, so bus advertising, there on the bottom, there you can see a picture of a nice burger and taco. Looks like 2 burgers and a taco on the side of a school bus. So we're doing some bus advertising in Washington, Greene, and Murray County. I did want to go ahead and point out that the campaign does have a provision or accommodation to accommodate the event that schools are out again. We know that with this COVID situation, things are apt to change at any time. So the campaign will run longer in the event that school is canceled or the bus is not running, to make up the time that is missed. So we don't have to be concerned about losing out on that great opportunity to have those buses driving around the county should the students have to go virtual. Next, we'll talk about UT Beef Day. So hopefully hopefully all of you guys have heard about UT Beef Day. And so this year, obviously, like everything else, I feel like a broken record, is going to look a little bit different. So it's going to be November 14th, the Tennessee versus Texas A&M game. And so we'll have some radio ads running in stadium, LED banners. We'll do website takeover, playbill ad for those that are actually in person. They'll have, from what we understand at this point, a limited in-person attendance, but there will be people in attendance as far as we know now. We do a retail partnership, beef sweepstakes through the Food City there in town. And anytime consumers purchase beef within that sweepstakes states, they are entered to win a contest. I believe it's also UT tickets to another game. Food service partner, we have online contests also going with Texas Roadhouse. So Texas Roadhouse has always been, or has been, a great partnership for this event. They normally come out to the game and they're on site, and they hand out steak samples, and just we're normally in attendance, playing games with consumers and just promoting beef and having a good time. Obviously, that's going to look a little bit different this year. We're not really sure exactly how that's going to work out. That's why we have the ball call segment and the on-site presence as to be determined. I think that is the anthem for 2020, to be determined. Let's see. And that flyer that you see on the screen there, that is the flyer from the previous year. I just kind of whited out the dates because we have a lot of unknown details. So I'm not sure if you saw our summer grilling campaign, United We Steak. It was a really awesome campaign trying to promote grilling season and keep beef top of mind during grilling season, when consumers are obviously at home eating a lot more with their families. we still wanted to make sure that we reminded them that grilling season was not canceled, even though a lot of other things were. So a specific campaign within that National United We Steaks campaign was the Southern States Advertising Partnership. So through June through August, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, and North Dakota all partnered together on a very large marketing campaign through YouTube and Google search. And so through that campaign, there was more than 9.6 million impressions, which means more than 9.6 million people actually saw the ads that were posted. 6.5 or more than 6.5 million engagements through that campaign, which is exactly what it sounds like. 6.5 million video views or website clicks through to the Beef It's What's for Dinner website that was attached to those ads. Very successful campaign advocating for beef on the grill during the summer, during grilling season. So that was a really great campaign and a really great opportunity to partner with some of our southern states and get the word out. Just a couple more slides here. So retail partnerships, or retail partner, we did a partnership with a company called Chicory. We actually partnered with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association as a contractor to the Beef Checkoff to do this partnership. So they did a national campaign with Chicory, and we were able as a state to come along and put a little more dollars behind it to push that campaign within the state of Tennessee and just boost it and make it that much better. And so ads run for Chicory on over 1,000 recipe sites. So you can see there on the screen, you see that recipe for steak kebabs and basil sauce. Well, at the bottom there, you see two things. The first thing you see is get ingredients. So if you clicked on get ingredients, that would take you, and it would ask you whether you wanted to go to Kroger or to Walmart, specifically in our state. If you were in another state, it would go to your local partners there. But here in Tennessee, it would ask you if you wanted to go to your Kroger site or your Walmart site. And whichever one you chose and signed into, it would automatically put the recipe or the ingredients to that recipe in your cart. And that's just driving those sales to the cart. I see that I want to make this recipe. It looks really great. How can we easily get the consumer to purchase these items, specifically the beef, and make that at home? And so that was an easy way. Get ingredients, it automatically puts it into their cart. And then the second thing that you see is that ad. The ad for Beef It's What's for Dinner with that great looking steak, share a tenderloin moment. And then when you click on that ad, it does the same thing. It takes you to that Kroger site that the ad is tied to, or it'll take you to Beef It's What's for Dinner to a specific recipe. And so we were able to partner with Chicory as a state, added to the national campaign. So we have just a little bit of results from that. We're just still getting results in, so all the sales results we have are not available yet. But this is just performance in general. So for the national campaign that National Cattlemen's Beef Association, as a contractor to the Beef Checkoff, did, they had a total of more than 9.8 million impressions. 9.8 million people saw this. And then total clicks, 18,998. And you might think, well, 18,000 compared to 9 million is not a lot. However, that 9 million takes into account everyone who opened the web page. So if I'm searching for a recipe and it gives me 5 different choices, I may click on 2 or 3 of those and they load on my phone or load on my computer, and I decide, no, that's not what I want to make. Well, that's an impression. That ad showed to that customer. They saw it and they didn't necessarily reject it, but they moved on to a different page. So when you put it into perspective, I think that gives it a little bit of perspective. So the click-through rate, which is just exactly what it sounds like, it's the people who actually clicked on the ad or clicked on the get ingredients and went through to that next page. And so the click-through rate for the national campaign was 0.19%. which doesn't sound like a lot, but their average benchmark for chicory is 0.15%. So we were 26% over the benchmark for their normal campaigns. And so that is very positive. And keep in mind, keep that perspective of 9.8 million is just, it showed up on your screen. So that's an impression. And so I think that those are great results considering how much we actually search and how many ads we actually see within a day that we may not even realize. To have, 26% more than their benchmark actually clicked is pretty great. And so for Tennessee, like I said, we came alongside of National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and we added some dollars to extend our reach within the state of Tennessee. And so our click-through rate was even better than the national rate. So we were at 0.21%. So if you're doing the math, it's almost or about 40% over their benchmark for their campaigns. And so we're really excited about that. We're actually obviously still waiting on sales data. And as soon as we get that sales data, we'll be able to share that as well and just see exactly what the impact was of this campaign. But the initial results look really great. We were able to get a lot of promotion out there. I did just want, this is my last update, but I did just something that is not on the slide, but I did want to tell you real quick before I take questions or let you go. I just want to tease the fact that if you haven't heard already, Beef It's What's for Dinner is going to be on the on broadcast TV again. So I know we're all excited about that. Beef It's What's for Dinner. Sorry for the rustling of papers. I was looking for my details. Beef It's What's for Dinner is going to be on the Hallmark channel. And so we will have some limited ads running. If you remember from last year, we had the drool log. And if you don't know what the drool log is, it is a rib roasting over a spit. It's basically just turning and roasting, and you can hear it sizzling and you can see the fat dripping off of it, and it just makes you hungry. And so that was kind of a play on the traditional Yule log. We were able to get that into movie theaters, and then of course all over social media, anywhere that we could last year for the holidays. This year, obviously, again, looks much different. And there probably won't be a lot of theater goers this year. And so we have had, or Beef It's What's for Dinner has had a great opportunity with the right time, the right price, and the right network in order to be able to get onto broadcast TV. It just worked out good, all the details. And so we'll be seeing the drool log on Hallmark on their countdown to Christmas. There will be some drool log ads mixed in there as everyone's watching their favorite Christmas movies on the Hallmark channel. So keep a lookout for that. We'll have more details as that gets closer. We'll have some more details on our social media platforms. So if you don't follow us on social media, it's probably the best way to see what's happening. It's probably the best way to see what's happening, what we're presenting to our consumers, and kind of see the activities that are happening and going on. So to get those details about being on the Hallmark channel and our upcoming influencer videos that we talked about and things like that, please follow us on Facebook at TN Beef. We're on Instagram, and we also have a Twitter page, all at TN Beef. And we'd love for you to do that and keep up to date on what we're doing. Go ahead and advance my slide if it will cooperate. At this time, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put those into the chat box. And then I'd be happy to answer anything I can. That is my contact information on the screen. I know tonight was short and sweet, and that was what I intended it to be. Hopefully going forward, each quarter we'll be able to do this for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do want to make sure that each quarter we're getting updates to you about what your Beef Checkoff program is doing. So please, if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. I'll wait a few minutes just in case anyone does have a question. I definitely don't want to cut anybody off. but I don't want to keep you hanging either. If you end up thinking of something later that you didn't think of while we were on here, please feel free to contact me by calling me at the office or emailing. My email is on there, cdavis@tnbeef.org. Or you can just, if you can't remember any of those things, which I have a terrible memory when it comes to things like that. I have to have it in my phone or I don't remember it. But you could also go to our website at tnbeef.org and contact us through there. So I don't see any questions, and I don't want to keep you guys hanging on. I just want to make sure that I have this set to the right thing so I didn't miss any questions. Okay. Well, I don't see any questions. I greatly appreciate you guys hanging on with me for about 30 minutes or so. I appreciate you coming on, and keep a lookout for the invite to the January meeting. It should be coming out a little closer to January. I'm going to try to get that out, or somewhere in December, so everybody can plan for that. But it'll be about the same time. I do intend to be about the last Monday of each month. Just kind of seems to work out. Our last Monday of each quarter just kind of seems to work out good. That way we make sure the meeting is after our board meeting and I have updates to share with you. So if no one has any questions, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I appreciate you coming on, and everybody have a great night.